Hi guys, welcome back. This is Lola here. I don't know about you guys, but at this point, my biggest desire is to go out and have a fine meal, have some fine dining. I went through some of the pictures of the food I took in the past, and it was really a torture. So I thought, why don't I share with you guys some of the food I have been having for my heart and for my brain. What I'm going to do in this video is recommend to you one movie, one novel or autobiography, and one show, which are very wholesome for you to read or watch at this point. The movie I'm going to talk about is, actually I don't know its English name. It's called 荒岛余生 in Chinese. It was filmed 20 years ago and it was starred by Tom Hanks. It's about a man, a FedEx guy, who valued time very much, who lived a very hasty life, you may say. And he was trapped on a deserted island for 4 years, during which time he didn't give up hope and he was finally rescued. It's a good movie for me because I think sometimes I am also in a very hasty state, and I think that watching this movie has given me a chance to slow down and look at my life and look at myself from a different angle, and I think that is very important. That is why since when I was 18 years old, every year for 3 years or 4 years maybe, I took a trip, a very far away trip, like to foreign countries or to Hong Kong, all by myself, because I think people need that kind of time to just to separate yourself from others. And also in this movie, Tom Hanks has gone through a lot of difficulties and he never lost hope. That is also quite important for us now, not to lose hope. Hope is everything. And then I just finished watching the English sitcom show called The IT Crowd. I am telling you, it is the most funny sitcom I have ever seen, and I have seen many sitcoms, so I really recommend it to you, especially if you want to learn British accent. I believe that during some hard times it is very important to stay optimistic and stay happy if you can, and in that regard I really think this show is good for you to watch at this point.
I've got one of your laptops. It won't get past the loading screen.
Have you tried doing it again?
Green. Can.
Yes. Can you press?
Can you press?
Delete.
Delete. Can I press delete?
Wheel. Yeah. Heel. Terug.
While.
Yes, wheel.
So, first of all, I'd like to extend the warmest welcome to Mr. Bernatelli and hope today is the beginning of a long and fruitful partnership.
Allora, io voglio extend a warm welcome a Mr. Bernatelli.
Hopefully we can join forces and plough our way through these uncertain times.
Hopefully during forcefully and plow uncertain time.
What do you say? Bernatelli and Renham Industries. Together we'll be bigger than ever.
Bernatelli and Renham Industries. Della Bella bigger than ever.
And the book I'm going to talk about, I think a lot of you might be quite familiar with one article from it. It's called 浮生六记 by Shen Fu. Actually, when I was in elementary school, I was required to recite it, and I actually enjoyed it. The story about the mosquitoes. I think it was quite interesting. It was, I saw somebody who was making the most out of his somewhat miserable life. This is also one of the reasons why I recommend this book to you. This is more like an autobiography of Shen Fu. He had quite a rough life. His wife was called by Lin Yutang the loveliest woman in Chinese literature history. So a lot of chapters in this book were about this woman, Yun. It was also quite a coincidence that I watched Feng Xiaogang's new movie, 只有云知道, the other day, and this Yun and that Yun has something in common. Yun was a very, very smart woman. She self-educated herself to learn a lot of poetry. During that time, almost 90% of women were probably illiterate. And, she was like the ideal wife. She can discuss poetry with her husband. She can make delicious food. And during the time of poverty, she never blamed her husband. And she enjoyed every bit of their life together. And but there was something very bizarre about her. She insisted strongly that her husband have a concubine, and because this thing didn't happen, he was so angry and even grieved to death. And which reminds me, I'm also reading San Mao's 撒哈拉的故事 recently. I bought this book a long time ago, or somebody else did. I don't know. It's just lying in my study. And I didn't even open it because I thought it was something like very bougie or just, extra sentimental for me. But when I read it, I was mesmerized by it. And Sama was a very, very special girl. One day, she saw pictures of the desert, and she just felt that she belonged there in her last life, and then she decided to go. And her lover, Jose, just instantly found a job there, and they lived there for maybe a couple of years. And these two books are both about soulmates. Really the deepest love one can have. And both these two stories told about some supernatural things they experienced, which I will not describe here just in case some of you might get scared. So if you're interested, just check out these two books. On 微信读书, you can find them there and you can both read and have them read to you. 浮生六记 also has an English version, which is quite good for you as English learners, right? And I'm not saying these women are perfect. Actually, if you search their names, you can see a lot of negative comments. Myself don't agree with them 100%. But don't forget they're older than our grannies, so they're definitely ahead of their times. And what I'm focusing on here is their optimism and their love for life during harsh times. How they lived a fun life when it is almost impossible to in lonely and depressing settings. Okay, that is all. I know it is very easy to feel anxious at this point, but I think this might be the once-in-a-lifetime chance for you to really slow down and read some books, enjoy some really good movies, learn something like English or other skills that might, distinguish you from others in the future. So don't waste time.